Well, hello and welcome back. Once again, race fans here to the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. On track action, superior class auto racing, presented to you by Mug Root Beer, live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, over here at the 2 Mile Auto Club Speedway out here, California dreaming here tonight. 100 laps for this California 200 scheduled tonight in superior class auto racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Looks like some of the race information, track information for you here tonight as happy hour begins to wind down. Only about 4 minutes remaining out here in happy hour. These drivers getting their final few adjustments in, ready to get strapped in to go qualifying. There you see air temperature 65 degrees, track temperature only at 69 degrees, so a very cold track with a lot of grip out there. Humidity quite high for this time of year, but should mean these cars can keep a little cooler. Should help some of the draft that you will see here at Auto Club Speedway. A 2 Mile track, you get tucked up with somebody, you can make some major gains. Looks like drivers running right around the 185 to 191 by themselves right now. 184 by Jeff Napier as he heads off down the backstretch right now. So these drivers turning in some very high speeds, and that's just a one car solo run, really. That's not even in the draft. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. It's that time of the year. It's that time of the season. Last race before the championship race, before we head to Phoenix to ISM Raceway for the Mug Root Beer Championship race. And it's going to be a tight battle. Still not decided just yet, but your points coming in to tonight's race look like this. The 8 of Brian Littleton sitting on top of your standings. David Bradford right there behind him. Colt Ansley, Mark Truxell, and Kason Plott right there in 5th. He's still in the hunt. Only the top 4 going to make it for the championship, but right now not seeing that 19 out there on the track right now, so that very well may be the deciding factor of who makes it into that top 4. If Kason Plott does not show up to the track, well, that means Brian Littleton, David Bradford, Colt Ansley, and Mark Truxell will be those 4 drivers battling it out for the championship when we head to ISM Raceway next Tuesday night. So continue to join us here tonight, and be sure to set your record button, your DVRs, to catch all the championship racing action next Tuesday night here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for superior class auto racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Only about 60 seconds remaining here in the happy hour, and these drivers going to get things ready to get fired off, ready to go qualifying. Looks like we've only got 2 or 3 drivers out there shaking down the cars. Most of them going to be bringing them down pit road this time by. So, yeah, we're just going to stick with it right here. Going to stay with it till we switch over into qualifying, get our qualifying session in, then head down trackside for our national anthem. So, don't go anywhere. Stay with us throughout this entire qualifying session. And I want to give a big shout out to all of you fans, friends, family joining us here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. For myself, Darkside Dave in the cave here in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth, and everybody else back at the headquarters, we do appreciate each and every time you join us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. I know the drivers surely appreciate it, so while you're at it, find some time, go ahead, click on that thumbs up button for them. Let these drivers know you appreciate the action that they're about to put on for you here tonight from Auto Club Speedway. This is round number 14 in the season for superior class auto racing, as happy hour finally comes to a close. We'll get things set, fired off, ready to change on over into qualifying. And it looks like qualifying now underway. Do have a few drivers in their car, a few drivers trying to get out. Excuse me, trying to get out on the track as quick as possible. So I tell you what, let's take a look now with the 7 of Will Hewitt. Will Hewitt coming around the line. Going to begin his first time lap this time around. Colt Ansley also out on track. Alan Dufries, David Bradford, Mikey Yellow Jr., Thomas McMullen, Hayes Booth, Jeff Napier, Chris Mathis, and Will Jones. All of those drivers currently out on a qualifying run. There you see nobody has put down a qualifying time just yet. But a lot of these drivers going to, as we're already at about the minute and a half mark here in our 5-minute qualifying session. So a very fast-paced qualifying for the Superior Class Auto Racing presented by Mug Root Beer. Chris Mathis going to go to the top of the board. Will Hewitt going to slot in second. I tell you what, let's jump back here with that 56 of Will Jones. Where's he go? He goes to second on the speed charts. Chris Mathis still sitting on top of your provisional poll with a 40-22. Excuse me. Jones off of 4 now, cutting down close to that AstroTurf down there on the inside. Is it enough to get him to the top of the board? No, gonna stay in the second spot. We're gonna look around the track. Looks like the 77 of J.D. Baker out there on his opening lap right at the 3-minute mark. David Bradford goes to second on the speed chart. My goodness, that was a big-time jump for Bradford. Right now, the top of the chart looks like this. Chris Mathis, followed by David Bradford, Will Jones, Will Hewitt, Alan Dufries, Hayes Booth. Then Jeff Napier, Mikey Yellow Jr., Colt Ansley, and Thomas McMullen round out your top 10. Scott Warren out on his flying lap. Kyle Green, J.D. Baker on screen, and Fred Strawwich out there as well. With only about a minute and a half remaining, we still have about 7 or 8 drivers yet to put in a qualifying time. Looks like Baker going to cross the line this time by. Where's he going to shake out? All the way up to 6th on the board with that second time lap. So a great pickup out there by J.D. Baker. Kyle Green also still out there on track. We'll take a look at this 20 machine as he tries to make a splash here in his debut. Scott Warren good enough for third with his time lap. We'll keep an eye on him during his second time lap, see where he shakes out, as we've got just about 60 seconds remaining here. We're going to begin to step away for a brief commercial break, then head down trackside for your national anthem. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We will be right back with your starting grid in your drop of the green flag here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So, as I said, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The field begins to roll off as we get set to go racing here at Auto Club Speedway. Your starting order looks like this for the California 200, starting inside row number 1. Pole position, the 18 of Chris Mathis. Just is outside the 76 of Scott Warren. David Bradford gonna line up inside row number 2. Will Jones to his outside. Row number 3, the 7 of Will Hewitt, followed by the 20 of Kyle Green. Row number 4, the 71 of Alan Dufries, followed by the 77 of J.D. Baker. As we get set to go green flag racing here today, gonna be a great one, that is for sure. Field getting ready to come around, take the green flag for the first time here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. Long way around. Ford Mustang making that left-hand turn. We'll get set to go green flag racing once again. Your race leader, your pole sitter, Chris Mathis, hits the gas and green flag flies here at Auto Club Speedway. Field still side by side, still trying to get the job done, still trying to jockey for positions. We'll have a lot of drivers making a lot of big moves very early here today. Looks like we've got a few drivers with some smoking issues going on right now, still battling. Drivers in and out, making some moves very early here. Going around the track, David Bradford right there behind Chris Mathis. Will Jones still right behind him. The field comes back across the stripe for the first time. Chris Mathis going to lead this first lap. And somehow, someway, looks like things got a little out of whack. There, everything goes back into play the way it should be. It was glitching around over here on my end, but nonetheless, got it all straightened out for you. Chris Mathis still continues to lead. David Bradford right behind him. Scott Warren, great showing for him the past two races in the season so far for Warren. He has had some great qualifying efforts as well as a great finish last week. Will Jones right there on his rear gearbox, right there, eating him up. And he's got Will Hewitt, J.D. Baker, Kyle Green all in tow. Mathis slowly beginning to open up the gap at the front of the field, slowly starting to step away from Bradford. But Bradford, he's still got Warren, Jones, and Hewitt right there on him, so he's not going to be able to fall back very much. And ladies and gentlemen, do want to keep in mind here, there are 3 stages in tonight's 100-lap race. Stage number 1 going to come at the completion of... when car goes around... Looks like Mikey Alo Jr. going off track. He's going to come back on track now. Ooh, that could have been pretty bad for a few drivers out there. Nonetheless, Alo Jr. doing a heck of a job getting the car corrected and headed in the right direction, not having any incidents there. You see him lost a little bit of ground, but he can still see the entire field. So I don't want to say no harm, no foul, but it could have been a lot worse. Last race in the championship hunt. We head to Phoenix next week. ISM Raceway. It is going to be one heck of a championship race out there next week for the Mug Root Beer Championship race. It is going to be an absolute pleasure to call that race and bring that one to you. We've got 4 out of the 5 drivers vying for their spot in the championship here tonight. The 19 of Case and Plot not making it here tonight. Had some issues getting to the track, and I believe that's going to put his championship hopes, it's going to do away with him, really. I mean, right there knocking on the door, running in that 5th spot in the championship standings, and then not going to be here tonight. That is more than likely going to put that 19 of Plot out of the championship mix. But right now we've still got Chris Mathis leading the field. He's got David Bradford right there with him. Scott Warren right there as well. Will Hewitt, Will Jones. It's the Will and Will show back here in the 4th and 5th position. These two drivers, they've been about side by side for about 3-4 laps now. The 2 drivers dropping to the bottom. Bradford dropping to the bottom with help from Will Jones just behind him. Looks like we're trying to see 2 lines starting to develop here. Looks like Will Jones and David Bradford trying to use a second line when they can, trying to get all the momentum that they can to work their way up and around that fast 18 of Chris Mathis, but Mathis having none of it. Bradford moving up and down in the lanes, going to that second lane, now back to the bottom, back to the top once again. Is he going to drop back down in front of Will Jones? Yes, he will, breaking the draft on that 76 of Scott Warren behind him. Now going to pick up the push from Will Jones, but still unable to get up there and do anything with that 18 of Chris Mathis. Field continues under green flag conditions. Your top 4 now make it 5 drivers all right there on top of each other. Mathis, Bradford, Jones, Warren, Hewitt all over each other. Then a few car lengths back, you find another 4 to 5 drivers battling it out. That's Kyle Green, J.D. Baker, Colt Ansley, Thomas McMullen and Hayes Booth. For those drivers battling from about 5th on back to 10th. Mark Truxell, Brian Littleton, Brian Mescal Jr., they seem to be having some trouble here tonight, running a little bit further in the field than you may have expected. Mark Truxell as well as Brian Littleton came into tonight leading in the point standings. So maybe these drivers are taking it a little bit easy, just trying to get themselves to the end. It looks like into the wall. There goes the 77 of J.D. Baker. Joshua Baker going into the wall, and that's going to bring out our first caution of the evening. Gets it all corrected, but his machine is smoking. He's going to have to use that fast repair for sure because that engine has popped. So I tell you what, let's take a look back, see what happened here. There you see contact with that outside wall. Cars rarely... and Brian Mescal Jr. plows in. Nowhere to go. He's going to need a fast repair. Looks like Jeff Napier may have got a piece of that as well. Oh, my goodness. Bang. Nowhere to go. You can see Brian Mescal Jr. Let's take another look at this one. You can see Brian Mescal Jr. He gets on the brakes here hard, and the car drifts to the left right in to that 77. So hard lick there for Brian Mescal Jr. But the field will catch back up to the pace car. J.D. Baker still trying to get his car back up there with the field. Will rejoin the race up here with your race leader, the 18 of Chris Mathis. David Bradford still right behind him. And I wonder if we're going to have any takers here. About 10 laps on the tires. They can make it to the end of stage number 1 with the fuel that they started the race with. So fuel strategy not really going to be an issue at any point in time here tonight. Looks like the stage is both about the 35 laps and seem to be getting word from some crew chiefs there. Looks like the fuel mileage on the tank is somewhere right around the 43 to 46 laps. So these drivers should be able to push it through the stages without needing to stop for fuel. It's just a matter of who wants them fresh tires and when do they want them. And it looks like the entire field wants them right here under our first caution. So I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take this opportunity to step away, pay some bills real quick. You know how that is. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with all your green flag action live here from Auto Club Speedway in the California 200.
Johnny with Little Tate's Cupcakes. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's race on the Turn 3 Network. Lil Tate's Cupcakes is a bakery based out of Owensboro, Kentucky. We specialize in cookies, cakesicles, cakes, and cupcakes for every occasion. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more of our work and for daily specials. Go number 5.
Back at the track, pace car lights are off. Field is set to go back. Green flag racing. David Bradford has the inside lane. Your race leader, the 18 of Chris Mathis, taking the outside lane for the restart here. We'll have to wait to see how that all pans out, how that all shakes out. Pace car gonna take off. Get out the way this time. We'll get set to go back. Green flag racing once again here from Auto Club Speedway. Green flag flies, and Mathis nailed that start. Gets a great jump over the rest of the field. Bradford about 3 car lengths back, heading into turn number 1. So Mathis gets a heck of a start. Bradford now dealing with Will Hewitt just to his outside. Scott Warren right there behind these two drivers, flirting with that outside wall. And not that they wanted to see it, but the 74 crew, they got what they needed, and that was a very early caution after a little bit of an off-track excursion there early in the race for Mike Yellow Jr. and that 74 crew. He finds himself back up with the field running in that 13th position, so we'll see if he can't capitalize on a little bit of luck falling his way early here at Auto Club Speedway for the California 200 and Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Front of the field still continues the 3 versus 2 car battle. Mathis now drops from that outside lane down to the inside. 3 different lanes coming off of turn number 4. And oh my goodness, things getting a little dicey and a little close up there at the front. 2, now 3 wide battle. Bradford stuck in the middle to the inside. Will Hewitt, Colt Ansley looking to the outside. Oh my goodness, trying to save it. Now making contact, and around goes Ansley. Looks like we're going to stay green flag though. Colt Ansley spinning off track. He gets his car gathered back up. But a big time moment there for Ansley, spinning almost right in front of the field off of the racing surface. So we stay green flag here at Auto Club Speedway. Chris Mathis continues to lead the field by a half a second. That's about that equates into about 5 to 6 car lengths. Looks like a lot bigger than a half a second gap, but that's what it is on the stopwatch, ladies and gentlemen. Stopwatches don't lie. Right there at the 0.4 of a second mark, as Bradford tries to run down that 18. We take a look now at Thomas McMullen as he tries to get up there and battle with Bradford, but he's got to deal with Will Hewitt just to his outside. That 7 has been running that high lane and making it work. The front of the field sorting itself out just a little bit, but back here, drivers still jockeying for position. Looks like Brian Littleton right here involved in this little scrap. Littleton, Justin Napier, then Joshua Baker, Alan Dufries, Mikey Yellow Jr., Brian Mescal Jr. They're all battled right here, entrenched with each other. And if you're Brian Mescal Jr. or Jeff Napier or even Colt Ansley, you're going to have to be careful now because you've already been to pit road and you've already used a fast repair. Colt Ansley luckily didn't hit anything that we know of, but you're going to have to be extra careful for the rest of the night here. So look for that 33 to play a little bit more of this strategy game here, kind of keep in touch without being in touch. Back at the front, there has just been a pass for the race lead. David Bradford coming off of turn number 2. He took it to the bottom, got the pass on the 18. Now the 18 right there on the bumper pushing that 46 of Bradford down into turn number 1. Now looks to the high side. Looks like Bradford's going to take that push and take the gap even further. He's going to extend his lead now, snaking, trying to break the draft. Mathis not going to let him do it, and Hewitt right there with Mathis. So we've still got a 3-car battle up here at the front of the field for the race lead. Running in the 4th and 5th position, we've got another battle that is between Thomas McMullen and Hayes Booth. So both of those drivers not really going away, as McMullen took the bottom and took that spot away from the 2 of Hayes Booth. Now here comes Will Jones, and don't count him out, ladies and gentlemen. He's moving through the field. Here comes that 5 of Mark Truxell, up 12 positions from where he started today's race. There you see him just off in the distance, right in front of Scott Warren. There you see that 5 of Mark Truxell. He's going to try to get up there to the back of that 56 of Will Jones. Try to see if he can't heat him up a little bit. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we've got, our top 4 drivers in the championship. 3 out of the 4 of them running all within about a position of each other right here in 5th, 6th, 8th. And then you got to go a little bit further back after that. A little bit of a mishap for Colt Ansley. Colt back there behind the 8 ball just a little bit, running in the 19th spot. So that's where your top 4 in the point standings coming into tonight's race are running. Those more than likely are going to be the 4 drivers vying for the championship next week in the Mug Root Beer Championship race at ISM Raceway. Mark it on your calendars now, because it is going to be one heck of a show. And Truxell looking to go 3 wide, way down on the apron on the front stretch. Brian Littleton now looking to the inside of Scott Warren. Gonna make that pass on Warren coming off of turn 2. No problem there. Truxell now trying to get up there and take the spot away from Hayes Booth. Will Jones was able to put his 56 down to the bottom and take that pass away and move into the 4th spot. Can Truxell put his number 5 in that 5th spot? And what's that? Oh, hard into that outside wall is the 2 of Hayes Booth. That's going to stack up the field behind him. Now Brian Littleton, Mark Truxell looking 2, 3 wide for a moment. Heading down into turn number 1, the 76 also gets by Hayes Booth as well. Brian Littleton takes that bottom line. Here comes Truxell on the high side. Can the momentum prevail for Truxell? He's not going to be able to stay in front of that 80 of Brian Littleton, but right now drag racing with that 76. Back down to turn number 3. Going to give that spot up as well. Here comes the 54 of Justin Napier. Where did he come from? He shot out of a cannon. Now he's up here mixing it up, trying to break into the top 5 as well. Back at the front of the field, your race leader, David Bradford, still continuing to lead Chris Mathis. Mathis right there on his rear bumper, still not letting him get away, as there's a battle right here for the top spot. But then we've got a heavy battle back through it's about 4th all the way through 7th, 8th position right now. So we've got a bit of a scrum going on all over. Oh, and Mathis hard into the outside wall off of 4. He's going to spin onto pit road, take out the cone. That's more than likely going to put him very far behind with a penalty, and that's going to open that gap right on up for David Bradford. He can breathe a little bit easier now. Caution flag will fly. Take a look back here, see what the caution coming out for, and it looks like that caution is coming out for Chris Mathis. Gets back on the track, and it looks like the track officials threw the caution with him coming back onto the track. No drivers involved in anything, but a big-time moment there for Mathis, pancaking the right side of that car up against the outside wall coming off of turn number 4, then having a big slide through the grass. And that is just a tough break there for Mathis. He's going to have a lot to overcome the rest of the night. Field makes its way to the back of the Ford Mustang pace car for the second time here tonight at Auto Club Speedway for Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer, California 200. 100 laps scheduled in the official race distance. We find ourselves working around the track on lap 28, gonna take 29 when we come across the line this time. Look for most of your leaders to come down pit road. Go ahead and get some fresh tires, because they've been out there for about 20 or so laps on those tires. Pretty sure they're going to want some 4 fresh tires. May get a few gamblers here since we are close to the end of stage number 1. And oh, nope, looks like everybody going to bring the car down pit road. So while these drivers get serviced, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Backtrack side once again, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves behind that Ford Mustang pace car. Its lights are off. That means we're gonna get set to go back green flag racing once again here from Auto Club Speedway for the California 200 here in Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer pace car. Down and away, Bradford will bring the field back to the green flag. Oh, bit of a moment back there. Driver stepping out of lane. That's going to mess up the start back there in the rear of the field just a little bit, but Bradford gets a great jump over Will Jones. Scott Warren now slotting into that 3rd position, and it looks like your top 3 got away from the field pretty good. Now Warren having to deal with McMullen and Brian Littleton and Mark Truxell They're battling for that last spot inside the top 5. Now Truxell looks to go back to the inside of the 80 as the 80 of Littleton right there on that 02 of Thomas McMullen. Bradford continues to lead Will Jones. Will we see the arrow push get to be too much for that 56? We'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. Thomas McMullen now under fire, trying to take the spot away, from Scott Warren, as Brian Littleton is right there all over him. Now going to look to the inside, a little bit of a crossover move coming down the back stretch for that 80 of Brian Littleton. Looking now to the inside of Scott Warren, going to pull just a little bit ahead through the center of the corner. Can that outside lane stay with him? Not choosing to slide up the track at all. Brian Littleton gonna take that spot away, gonna keep that 80 machine down there to the bottom. And now Justin Napier, he's making up some ground. He made a spot up just to the inside of Mark Truxell, now working their way through 1 and 2. As David Bradford, your race leader, continues to lead Will Jones, the 56, right there in second. Only about a few tenths of a second, less than a car length off of your race leader. Now looking to the inside for that third position. Brian Littleton dialing that 80 up, trying to move up through the field towards the end of stage number 1. We're going to make our way across the line. Lap 34 underway now out of the 35 laps scheduled in stage number 1. So these drivers amping it up here towards the end of stage number 1. They're going to have to dial it on back, get set to go at it one more time. Big wiggle there by the 76. And a car around in the rear of the field. Caution does not come out. That was a hard lick for Kyle Green, I believe, was involved. Colt Ansley looks like he may have been involved in another incident as well. We stay green flag racing. Brian Littleton with a bit of a moment. He's going to give up a little bit of a ground as now Thomas McMullen looking to his outside, trying to take that fourth spot away. Here comes Justin Napier right there on the inside, looking to take the spot away from that 02, maybe take a spot away from the 80 of Brian Littleton as well. Now going to slot just in front of Mark Truxell. Here comes that 02 driving to the bottom. Contact in the corner. Not enough to upset the car. 80 of Brian Littleton drives it off of the corner. Bradford leads the field to the line. Stage number 1 coming to a close as David Bradford crosses the line first. Looks like waiting for that competition caution to fly here, or stage-ending caution, I should say, as David Bradford continues to lead Will Jones, Scott Warren, Brian Littleton, Thomas McMullen round out your top 5. And I don't know, maybe we're not going to have that stage here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. Looks like we're going to continue the green flag racing right now. Brian Littleton looking to the inside of Scott Warren. He's going to take that third spot away. Can he make it a clear and clean cut pass? Working his way off of turn 4. Looks like the 76 going to stay right there on that left rear quarter panel. Gonna side draft a little bit, slow the 80 down as they cross the line to begin lap 38. Brian Littleton still driving hard after that third position. Your front 2 runners, David Bradford, Will Jones, have not been able to step away from the field, and just like that, finally making the pass, making that inside lane work off of turn number 2, put the 80 of Brian Littleton now up to third. just a little bit further back through the field. Do want to keep my eye on everybody. Oh, big time moment. Brian Littleton got super loose coming off of 4. That's going to open the door for Scott Warren, and even more battling going on just behind them. Thomas McMullen, Justin Napier, Mark Truxell, they're mixing it up as well. A few of those drivers were a little bit out of shape there for just a brief moment. Alan Dufries now coming to join the party, and here comes that 33 of Brian Mescal Jr. You know, I said he may be playing it nice and easy for a good portion of this race after using a fast repair very early, and nope. He's full throttle, pedal to the metal right here, right behind Alan Dufries' tail end of this lead pack. Your top 9 drivers all cross the line, all within 1 second of each other. David Bradford and his 46 Dr. Pepper Ford Mustang continues to lead the field. He's got a friend and teammate right behind him in his 7-Up Ford Mustang as these two drivers continue to battle with each other. Brian Littleton right there just kind of waiting in the wings, waiting for one to make a mistake to capitalize and pounce on it as soon as they do. A little bit of a gap back from Littleton to get to Thomas McMullen. That 02 now running in the 4th spot. He's got Justin Napier in the 54 right there behind him on his rear bumper. The 5 of Mark Truxell losing a little bit of ground right now, but still well in touch with Justin Napier and the rest of the front of this field. As Brian Mescal Jr., he is making some waves. He has gotten by Alan Dufries as well as Scott Warren, as Warren begins to fall through the field, maybe abusing those tires a little bit too early. And now Warren suffering the consequences, falling back all the way to the 8th spot. You can see it looks like Mark Truxell searching for some clean air, searching for a line to try to improve his position, to try to get a little bit closer to that 54 of Justin Napier. As now it looks like your top 5 drivers slowly beginning to open up a gap. Back to the 7th place runner, Brian Mescal Jr. Mescal Jr. starting to fall about 3 to 4 tenths now off of the rear of Mark Truxell. Truxell doing a fine job holding on to the draft with Justin Napier, as Napier slowly starting to lose a little bit of touch with that 02 as well. As your race leaders make their way around a lap machine, looks like they're going to take the top. Oh, now lap car going to go down to the bottom. Looked like Bradford was going to try to use that lap car as a pick. And the lap car said, no, sir, you're not going to put me in a bad spot. And right now at the front of the field, David Bradford continues to snake back and forth on the lanes, trying to break the draft, trying to break the momentum of that 56. And I think if I was Will Jones, I wouldn't worry about following too much. I would just stick with my line here. Like if Bradford were to snake a little bit towards the inside lane, let him go. Let him have it, because you've got drivers still lined up behind you, giving you the push as well. So I don't think you have to worry about following and snaking as much. But I'm also not inside of that 56 driving it right now. Oh, a lot of drivers getting close to that outside wall off of turn number 4. And we've seen that already bite 2 or 3 drivers out there tonight. As a matter of fact, let's go back, check in on a driver that was caught up with a little bit of an incident there, brought out our last caution. That's the 18 of Chris Mathis. He's got his Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry headed back into the right direction, cracking back inside the top 10 after that hard contact and spin through the inside, and spin through the infield on the front stretch. Mathis doing a good job recovering as best as he can right now. still finds himself a little bit behind, running about 4.5, almost 5 seconds behind this man right here. David Bradford continues to lead Will Jones and Brian Littleton. Thomas McMullen running in 4th. Justin Napier in 5th. Mark Truxell in 6th. Brian Mescal Jr. in 7th. Scott Warren in 8th. And Alan Dufries in 9th. And just like that, the 18 of Chris Mathis, as I just said moments ago, cracked back into that top 10. A little bit of a Ford show right now at the front of the field. The Ford performance showing to be strong right now in the California 200 as we work our way around the track. Lap 47 out of 100 scheduled in the official race distance. But then it is a stack of Chevy Z01 Camaros all the way back to that 8th place runner, Scott Warren. That's where you'll find your 3rd Ford up here inside the top 10, and it looks like it's pretty much a Chevy-dominated top 10 right now. Only 3 Fords and 1 Toyota inside that top 10, so that leaves 6 Chevys up there running, and they're all running from about 3rd, back to 7th, and then in 9th as well. So just a big cluster of Chevys up there at the front of the field. I tell you what, while we've got a chance, while we've got a moment, we do got an in-car camera out there with a few of our chase contenders. So I tell you what, let's go down trackside with the driver running in 3rd right now, driver of that 80 machine, Brian Littleton. Let's take a ride around Auto Club Speedway with the 80 of Brian Littleton. And you can really hear those tires screaming coming through the corners. The progressive banking here allows these drivers to walk up the track without losing any grip, actually gaining grip as you go up the track. As you go up the banking, you gain a little grip, and the tires seem to get torn up a little bit more and more as we continue to watch this 80 of Brian Littleton make his way around the track. Do want to send a big shout out to everybody in that 80 crew for allowing us to jump in there and put this camera just over the right shoulder of the driver, giving you some great onboard camera shots here today from Auto Club Speedway. Your front 4 still remain the same. David Bradford leads the field. Will Jones right there in 2nd. Brian Littleton in 3rd. And Thomas McMullen is the driver running 4th right now. Mark Truxell just taking that spot away from Scott Warren. And Truxell going to move himself into the 5th spot. Warren having to deal with Justin Napier right now. That's a little bit of a battle. And Brian Mescal Jr., Chris Mathis, they're beginning to battle back there for that 8th and 9th position. So some small battles all over the track still. And as I look around the track, it looks like we do have 2 drivers that came to the track tonight that unfortunately had some mechanical failures, not able to start tonight's race. The 51 as well as that 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr., both of those drivers not able to get the machines fired up. Had to push them back to the garage area and load them on up. Tough break for both of those drivers. So we've still got 19 cars at the track here. 18 cars still running. 17 on the lead lap. Kyle Green being scored as the first car 1 lap down. And now we've got a battle for 2nd. Brian Littleton looking to the inside of Will Jones. Two drivers battling for the championship standings right now, battling for the spots on the track, and Littleton gonna take that second spot away from Will Jones. Can he go up there and make the pass on that 46 of Bradford? We'll have to wait and see. Now Mathis looking back to the inside. That's gonna move that 80 of Littleton up the track just a little bit. Jones not able to pull the slide job or a crossover just yet, as Brian Littleton now going to drop down to the bottom run in the draft with that 46 machine. They're going to head back into turn one. Now one car separates each of your front three. And as these drivers continue to battle, you would think that would be bringing that 0-2 of Thomas McMullen into play. But they are slowly walking away from that 0-2, and Mark Truxell slowly reeling him in. So if this thing stays green flag for much longer, we may see a very different complexion of this race. I would say within the next 10 laps of green flag running, we're going to see a big-time difference in the way this top 6 or 7 drivers look as they run right now. David Bradford still and continues to lead the field. Brian Littleton now in second. Will Jones back to third. Thomas McMullen running in fourth. Mark Truxell secures the 5th spot. 6th, Scott Warren. Brian Mescal Jr. in 7th. The 8th spot, Justin Napier. Chris Mathis in 9th, and Ellen DeFries rounds out your top 10. Brian Littleton all over that rear bumper of David Bradford, now looking to the inside, not quite there, still hanging tough on that right rear quarter. That's going to open the door for Mathis. Excuse me, that's going to open up the door for Jones on the outside. He's going to utilize that launch momentum, that draft, to try to take that second spot back away from the 80 of Brian Littleton. And Littleton, he's kind of a stuck man right here. Although, you know, those are both two very competitive race car drivers that he's battling with. You got to keep in mind that those are also teammates. And I would much rather have to deal with racing my teammate for the lead as opposed to having somebody else come up there and try to make the pass on me when I've got a teammate also trying to pass me. Feel a lot more comfortable having my teammate kind of control that second car. Drivers continue their way around the track. We continue green flag racing here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. Leaders cross the line. That time to begin lap 58 out of the 100 scheduled in the official race distance. One attempt at a green-white checkered here in the Superior Class Auto Racing. And man, oh man, just like that, half of the race already over with. And it looks like we now have another driver back down onto pit road. Looks like Hayes Booth, he's going to get his car serviced. He's going to fall down one lap running now in the 17th position. And Colt Ansley and Fred Strawwich, both of these drivers got to be concerned about your race leaders because they're only about 5 or 6 seconds away from being put one lap down. Going to go back to another battle on track right here. This is a battle for the 5th and 6th position between Mark Truxell and Scott Warren. Warren with 2 great runs so far in the Superior Class Auto Racing presented by Mug Root Beer last week, walking away with a great finish, with a podium finish. We'll see if he can't repeat that this week. And what a way to start your driving experience with Superior Class Auto Racing, then walking away with 2 back-to-back podium finishes as Warren's able to slot just in front of Truxell and take that final spot in the top 5 away. Now Mark Truxell looks like he's looking to the inside, not going to take it there. Warren going to dive all the way down to the bottom, all the way to that white line. Now Truxell looks underneath, coming off of 2. Looks like he may have the run here. Drag race down into turn number 3. And they're going to be right there on that 0-2 of Thomas McMullen soon. So look for maybe that 0-2 to be used as a pick by one of these 2 drivers. And the battle at the front has not went away. Those 3 drivers continue to mix it up. Bradford, Jones, Littleton, still a back and forth battle up there between those top 3 drivers. Who's going to dominate this race? Right now, Bradford, the dominating car as far as the laps led are concerned. But Will Jones and Brian Littleton, their cars are just as capable of winning this race. There you see them just off into the foreground going into turn number 3. Great shot looking into the windshield of these cars. You can see the hands and eyes of these drivers as they continue to focus razor sharp around this track. This 2-mile oval could it can really wear on you a little bit. Turn 1, very unique. Turn 1 and 2, it can be very deceptive. It's very wide, it's very long, but it's almost like the radius changes a little bit halfway through the corner. And you really got to adjust yourself and adjust your line according to the tires. And speaking of tires, we're going to look at some pit strategy right now. These drivers, everybody going to be pretty much the same. But there you see it, 33 laps on the tires for pretty much the entire field right now. And we're getting close to that fuel window threshold that you heard me speak about there in pre-race. I did say we weren't going to have to worry about it, but we're working our way into a situation right now as we continue to watch this battle between Mark Truxell, Scott Warren, and Thomas McMullen just off in front of them, keeping an eye on the battle at the front of the field. David Bradford still leads Will Jones and Brian Littleton. Brian Mescal Jr. now joining this trio of cars, so we're going to have a 3-car battle at the front, and then a short distance back to a 4-car battle. But as I was saying about the fuel, was hearing from some drivers and crew chiefs that you can get about 46 laps if you stretch it on your fuel. Well, these drivers are under the 40 lap to go mark, so the fuel window has opened up. As a matter of fact, that fuel window coming open right about now, this lap or the next for the majority of the field. So when will we see this green flag cycle occur, or will we get the stage caution at the end of the stage caution at lap 70? We'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds, because I mean, these drivers are going to be pushing it to make it to lap 70 on the fuel load that they have right now. Back at the front, looky here, Will Jones with a pass for the race lead. He gets by David Bradford going down the back stretch that time by. Bradford gonna slide into second. Brian Littleton still sitting right there in third, kind of just patiently waiting as your race leaders begin to work their way in towards lap traffic, and it looks like that may be the 86 of Colt Ansley just in front of your race leaders, and not quite sure who that was right there. I believe that may have been the 20 of Kyle Green, just going way high on the track, getting right out of the way of your race leaders. And Colt Ansley and Fred Strawwich, both of these drivers in danger of going a lap down, as Will Jones, he's found another gear, and he has stepped away from the battle between Brian Littleton and David Bradford. So Jones stepping away for just a moment. Now the draft coming into play. Here comes Bradford back to the inside. Oh, and caution flag flies. Once again here at Auto Club Speedway, looks like, Brian Mescal Jr. caught up and involved in this latest one. We'll take a look back here, see what happened. Contact between the 76 and the 02. And Brian Mescal Jr. caught up, and it looks like, more drivers coming in there at the end, catching that front end. There you see the contact between the 02 and the 76. The 76 gets a little bit loose, gets into the 33. 33 of Brian Mescal Jr. trying not to slide into the outside wall, and then Chris Mathis and Justin Napier, well, they're battling and fighting over some real estate. We'll show the contact between them. Here comes Napier, just a little bit hot, and squeeze play right there. Tough break to see all that go down. Nonetheless, we will join the field back at the front as your race leader, David Bradford, catches back up to the Ford Mustang pace car. And, this is a, excuse me. This is a caution flying right at about the time that we were going to see a stage-ending caution. So the field going to be able to reset, rethink, breathe, get a drink real quick, and get their mindset on this short run that we're going to have here at the end in the California 200 here in Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Round number 14. Next week, round 15, we head to Phoenix ISM Raceway for the Mug Root Beer Championship Race Night. Field all coming down pit road for fuel and tires. So, with that being said, we're going to do what we usually do. And that's step away for a brief commercial break, pay some bills. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Johnny with Little Tate's Cupcakes. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's race on the Turn 3 Network. Little Tate's Cupcakes is a bakery based out of Owensboro, Kentucky. We specialize in cookies, cakesicles, cakes, and cupcakes for every occasion. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more of our work and for daily specials. Go number 5.
Backtrack side as the field heads back into turn number 3. Ford Mustang pace car lights are off. Mark Truxell winning the race off of pit road. He'll line up on the inside lane. Brian Littleton gonna line up first car. On the outside lane, Will Jones, Justin Napier will make up your second row. Alan Dufries and Mikey Yellow Jr. will make up your third row. Waiting to get to the restart box, Mark Truxell bringing the field around. Waiting for it, and on the gas, green flag flies. Once again here at Auto Club Speedway, Mark Truxell brings his number 5 to a great start, gets a great jump over the field, leads by about 2 car lengths heading down into turn number 1. Battle on the track now is for that second spot, and Will Jones going to secure that position with ease, working off of turn number 2. And here comes Justin Napier to the inside. That 54 looking to take that third spot away from Brian Littleton, as Littleton stuck on that outside lane on the restart. Here comes David Bradford. A little bit of a slow pit stop there for Bradford. That last time by, he found himself a little bit further through the field on the restart, but now making his way back inside the top 5, make that the top 6, looking to take that top 5 spot away from Mikey Yellow Jr. 74 running on that outside on the high lane, and here comes the 18 of Chris Mathis knocking on the door of the top 5. Mathis running in the 7th spot right now. Battle at the front of the field. Will Jones looking to the inside of Truxell. These two drivers drag race to turn number 3. Drag race for first and second. Drag race for third and fourth. Drag race for 5th and 6th. Man, oh man, this field is getting racy as we are getting close to just about the 3/4 mark in the race. Field makes their way through 1 and 2. Will Jones going to take that top spot away now, slotting just in front of Mark Truxell. That's going to back up that top line for just a brief moment. Now surging once again. Here comes Truxell down to the bottom. The 80 of Brian Littleton having a check up for just a brief moment. Now a big run through the center. Here comes David Bradford pushing on that bumper of the 80 of Brian Littleton. Can they make that run on the outside lane work? They've got Jones, Littleton, and Bradford, Truxell, and Napier on that inside lane. Inside lane holding strong, shortest way around the track, fastest way around the track. Here comes the 5 of Truxell. Once again, going high. That 56 of Mathis way out there next to that outside wall. Looks like he's leaving a little bit of a window open. Gonna have to watch it, because you may see a driver elect to go 3 wide as the 18 of Chris Mathis shot out of a cannon, and now he's looking to go 3 wide. Third car down there on the inside lane next to that white line. He's got help from the 7 of Will Hewitt, but now that 3 wide attempt fizzling out just a little bit. Is not able to go anywhere with that 3 wide attempt. Now Chris Mathis looks to jump to the outside lane just behind the 46 of David Bradford, and things are getting dicey up at the front. We've got about 8-9 drivers all right here in this lead back, and they are mixing it up as now battle on track second position. Mark Truxell down there on the inside. Brian Littleton trying to take that spot away, utilize the run on the high line. Looks like he's going to be able to do that coming off of turn number 4 that time by. Now Will Jones, as Brian Littleton also drops to the bottom, now looking for a way around. Littleton looking for the pass, not going to do it into turn number 1. Position hot and heavily contested right now is that. The third position, David Bradford working the outside lane. Mark Truxell still hanging tough down there on the inside. Chris Mathis right there behind Bradford, as everybody abandons that high lane and Mathis goes way up the track. 25 laps to go. Now make it 24 as the leader crosses the line. One heck of a race on our hands here at Auto Club Speedway for Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Your top 2 drivers nose to tail as Littleton trying to make the pass on the outside. Looks like he's going to be able to do a drag race down the backstretch. Oh my, cars Going to the inside, Will Hewitt involved. Hewitt involved in a spin off track. We're going to stay green flag racing as Will Jones powers back to the inside, looking to take that top spot back away from Brian Littleton. But Littleton holding strong on the outside. Gonna cross the line side by side. Give the lap to that 80 of Littleton. Now we've got David Bradford and Mark Truxell right back here on the bumper of these front runners. And here's the 54. What's he do? He's kind of the oddball right now. The fifth man in the mix. He can go where he wants. Let's see what Napier does. Napier looks like he's just being very patient right now. He does have Scott Warren, Mikey Yellow Jr. right there as well. Alan Dufries still somewhat in the mix, a little bit behind, a little bit of a gap, but he's still right there. He can still see the race leader, Will Jones, now taking control of the race. And here comes the 80 looking to the bottom off of turn number 2. Looks like we've got the teammates at the top of the track. Will Jones, David Bradford, they're going to work with each other as they've got Justin Napier just on that outside lane with them. Mark Truxell and Brian Littleton, two of the only drivers down there running that inside lane, and that's going to spell trouble for them as the rest of these cars begin to gang up on the outside. That's going to give the outside line a little bit more momentum, a little bit more of an advantage, a little bit more of a run when they make their way out of the corners and get to the other end of the straightaways. But putting up a fight on that inside lane, the 80 of Brian Littleton and Mark Truxell, they are not going away. That 56 and 46 of Jones and Bradford, they know they're there. They're continuing to try to stop the run, trying to slow the run down as much as they can as they come down. Chop the nose on the 80. The 80's going to return the favor, go right up the track with them, stay right on that rear bumper of the 46 of Bradford. Now looking offsetting just a little bit, heading down into turn 1. Now Littleton looking to maybe put that 46 in a little bit of a rough situation, maybe pin him down just a little bit. Field works their way off of turn number 2 with just 20 laps remaining. The 56 of Will Jones continues to lead his teammate David Bradford, Brian Littleton, Justin Napier, Mark Truxell round out your top 5. And while I've got time, while I've got it fresh on my mind, do want to give a big, huge shout out to all the sponsors here in Superior Class Auto Racing. The title sponsor, Mug Brewed Beer. Big shout out to you for everything that you do here in the league. Also a big shout out to Red Dot Storage, First Horizon, Little Tate's Cupcakes, as well as Cameron Hagman Photography. All sponsors here in the Superior Class Auto Racing. So a big shout out to each and every one of you being involved with this great league. Want to thank each and every one of you fans, friends, and family for stopping by each and every time you do here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. If you haven't already, go ahead and give these drivers a thumbs up. Click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the cave here in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth, or anybody else back at the headquarters, we do appreciate each and every time you join us, because without you, there'd be no us. And, yeah, I mean, there's no other way to put it. Without y'all, there's no us, and we do appreciate each and every one of you. Got a lot of great new merchandise out there as well. So if you haven't heard about it or seen it, head on over to the Turn 3 Racing Network Facebook page and check out some of the new Turn 3 swag we got going on over there. And I tell you what, right now, this battle of the soda cans at the front of the field has been one to watch all race long. I mean, these drivers, they've been mixing it up for about the past, I would say at least 40-plus laps. Bradford and his teammate Will Jones. It's, as I said, it's the battle of the soda cans here. We've got 7-Up, Dr. Pepper, And I mean, the only thing that would make this any better is if we had a snack cake battle for third and fourth. Mark Truxell with the Little Tate's Cupcake sponsor on the car. Brian Littleton with a local company sponsor on the car. If those two had like a Little Tate's Cupcakes and maybe like Little Debbie's or something, tell me that wouldn't be ironically awesome cool. Two soda can cars battling for first and two cupcake cars battling for third and fourth. I mean, come on, man. You can't script this stuff to be that good. And oh no, looks like Brian Littleton falling to the wayside a little bit. Did he run the tires off of that 80 machine trying to make the pass up there on the front, up there at the front on Bradford and Jones? Because here comes Truxell, that wily veteran, looking to get around the 80 of Brian Littleton. Not going to take that third spot away just yet, but he is side by side heading down into turn number 3. Truxell looking to take that third spot away, pulling even now halfway through the corner, and he's going to bring Napier with him as well. And here comes Scott Warren. Warren almost into that outside wall, but that outside lane momentum keeping the 80 of Brian Littleton alive, keeping him right now in that third position as Truxell going to back up, regroup, and retry that pass here in just a few moments. I would expect probably when they get back down to turn number 3, maybe he should look to the inside. Looks like he's taking a peek now halfway down the backstretch. Not going to do it just yet. While just in front of them, Will Jones continues to lead David Bradford. That gap is only about a tenth and a half, so not even 2/10 of a second separates your top two runners as they are right now. The 56 of Will Jones continues to lead the race. David Bradford right there, fresh on his heels, side by side battle back here for third and fourth. Now Mark Truxell gonna pull a kind of a slide job, not really a slide job, just kind of throw it in there, drive it up the track, drive it off the corner, take that third spot away, but that's going to open it up for a crossover for Brian Littleton down into turn number 3. Littleton shoves the car down into 3, down on that wide line. Mark Truxell making the outside lane work. Now the role reversed a little bit, and Truxell gets to keep that momentum on the high line to his advantage, and he's going to keep that third spot away from Brian Littleton. Does either of these two cars, Truxell or Littleton or even Napier back here, just behind Littleton, does anybody have anything for those top two cars? Now battle at the front, side by side. Teammates battling it out with 12 laps to go, side by side off of turn number 4. Up the track goes the 56. Digging on the bottom in his 46 Dr. Pepper Ford Mustang, David Bradford gonna take the lead of the race, gonna slide up in front of Will Jones as they head into turn number 1. Mark Truxell right there in striking distance. Does he have enough under the hood to get the job done as these top 4 begin to step away from Justin Napier? Just behind Napier, we've got Scott Warren, Alan Dufries, Mikey Yellow Jr., Thomas McMullen, and Jason Baker round out your top 10. This is one heck of a battle unfolding here at Auto Club Speedway. 10 laps remain in the California 200. Live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for Superior Class Auto Racing, round number 14. It's the final round in the regular season. Who is your season champion gonna be? Right now, Bradford looking like he's gonna have another shot at a championship. came into tonight's race second in points. Mark Truxell came in tonight being the fourth driver in points, fourth car to be making his championship hopes turn into reality here tonight. And with a great strong run like he's having right now, he's definitely going to be one of those four drivers in the championship race. Driver just behind him, Brian Littleton, came in into tonight's race leading in the points. So with him running right here inside the top five, look for that 80 of Littleton to also punch his ticket to the championship race and have a shot at the season number 2 championship here in Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Your other championship contender right now, the 86 of Colt Ansley, not having such a good day here at Auto Club, finds himself running just outside the top 10 in the 11th position. Still on the lead lap, but about a half a lap down. Eight laps remaining as your top two continue to pull away from Brian Littleton and Mark Truxell. About a lap or two go by with Truxell or Littleton right there on their rear bumper, and then they kind of break away for a lap or two, and then Littleton and Truxell come back. Here you go, right here on screen. Here comes Brian Littleton. Mark Truxell following as well. So look for this to be another heated battle here within the next lap or so. And man, we're going to have ourselves a hotly contested race finish here at Auto Club Speedway in the California 200. Superior Class Auto Racing, presented to you by Mug Root Beer. Seven laps remain. Now make it 6 as we were almost 3 wide, crossing the line that time by your top 4. Still mixing it up, still all within 0.2 of a second of each other. 4 cars within 0.2 of a second, battling for the race lead. You couldn't ask for a better setup to a better finish of a race than what you're getting right here at Auto Club Speedway in Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer, live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Crossing the line, 5 to go. Will Jones in the 56 continues to lead the race. He's got David Bradford right behind him. Brian Muskill Jr. still running in third. Mark Truxell rounds out. Well, doesn't round out. He is the final car here. And in this front pack, running in the 4th position, Scott Warren going to round out your top 5. Warren has a bit of a gap back to his closest running competitor, about a second back to Alan Dufresne. So your top 5 look to be in a good standing order. Doesn't look like much is going to change from there on back, but oh, looky here. Fred Strawwich right here in danger of going a lap down. And will the lap machine have an effect on the way the end of this race plays out? Most of us would surely hope not, but can they utilize them maybe as a pick? And wise maneuver there by Fred Strawwich. Just gonna go ahead and get down on the apron, completely out of the way. You're not blaming me for nothing, is what Fred and his crew chief have came over the race comms and said. So I like the approach. Not a chance you're going to blame me for anything. Heck of a gentleman move there by that 27 and his whole crew, as we still stay green flag racing at the front of the field. Will Jones has about, I wouldn't even say a half of a car race lead over his teammate David Bradford. Now mixing it up a little bit. Here comes Brian Littleton pushing on that 46, a little bit loose now. 46 down to the inside lane. Truxell just kind of hanging out right now as things are getting a little bit dicier up in front of him. and might just be having the strategy of, you know what, I'll let these guys go after it, and when they all wreck and die, I'll pick up the pieces and go to victory lane. Brian Littleton right there on the bumper, now looking to the inside. Not going to be there, almost 3 wide that time going into turn number 1. Popsicle sticks that last time by for your race leader, David Bradford, leading the field down there on the inside lane. Here comes Jones on the outside with help from Brian Littleton. And it's going to take a 3 wide move, I think, to win this race here. Your front 4 making their way off of turn number 4, coming across the stripe to take the white flag here at Auto Club Speedway in the California 200. 2 wide, fanning almost 3 wide. Side-by-side battle for the race lead. Bradford and Jones mixing it up. Almost contact. Man, that is some close racing. Here comes Truxell. Truxell with a run down the backstretch. Not going to be enough to take the spot. Here comes Littleton. Littleton drops to the bottom of the track. 3 wide for the race lead. Contact between the 56 and 46. The 46 comes down, taps the 80. The 80 goes to the middle. Here comes Truxell. The 46 chops the entire field's nose off. Oh my goodness. That was one. Whoo. That was a finish right there for the ages. Some very close, some very tough racing, but clean racing going on. Coming to the checkered flag there. By all of those drivers at the front. Mark Truxell did a fine job. Will Jones, Brian Littleton, David Bradford. What a great job right there by all of those drivers. And with that race win, that is going to all but secure his spot in the championship for David Bradford. Brian Littleton, Mark Truxell, both finishing 2nd and 3rd. So all 3 of those drivers, those championship contenders, doing what they needed to do, and they will head off to Phoenix with a chance to win the championship. So we'll get set to head down trackside for your post-race interviews. So we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. back trackside, ready to go with your post-race interviews. So let's see if we can't get a quick word with the driver walking away with the third place out there today. Driver of that 5 machine, Mark Truxell. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, my man, it seems like it's been a long time coming this year. Haven't got to talk to you very much up here in the booth, but first and foremost, want to say congratulations on walking away with a podium finish here today. But more importantly, with that finish, you secured your shot at the fight for the championship next week at Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how the not sure how the format works out on that.
Well, I am pretty sure, I'm about 98.9% sure that you are definitely one of the drivers going to be vying for the championship. I do apologize if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. But nonetheless, Mark, walk us through kind of the finishing stage there of the race. 10 laps to go. It's you, Jones, Littleton, and Bradford, and man, you guys battled it out for the entire 10 laps.
Yeah, I was trying to get the number 5 up front tonight, trying to get me a win before the last race of the season. Everybody's racing clean up there, so, I didn't want to do anything silly, so just tried to put the pressure on and let them make the mistake. They made a little one to the end, but not enough to capitalize too much. But other than that, man, I'm really pleased with the show.
Well, man, it was a heck of a show. And once again, man, congratulations on a great finish, great season. Before I let you go, though, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, thank anybody on the side of that car?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my main sponsor, Little Tate's Cupcakes, AlexMorganImaging.com. I'd like to thank you for the broadcast, Bobby and David for all they do for the league, and all the viewers out there, and all the racers on the track. Putting on a good show tonight. Thanks, guys.
All right, well, there you have it. A few final words from the driver finishing in the third position here tonight. Mark Truxell walks away with a great finish, a great way to end the season, and he'll look to continue his quest next week at ISM Raceway. Now let's see if we can't get in a quick word or two with the driver that walked away in the second position here tonight, came into tonight's race leading the points, walking away in second. Brian Littleton. Is Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, man. How's it going up there?
Going good. A little bit out of breath after those final 10 laps. Walk us through that a little bit.
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm sweating. That was intense, man. That was just good, hard racing between the 56, the 46, and I think it was the 5 that was behind us. I think he wound up getting third out of the deal. I didn't think I had anything for him, so I was kind of waiting for something to maybe happen up front and that I could take advantage of. And I started backing my corners up, trying to get a good run on them, and it didn't seem to really be making much difference. So at that point, I was just kind of waiting for something to happen and hoping, and it really didn't, but it kind of did, I guess, when I wound up making it 3 wide going into 3. But it worked out for the best for us, so we'll take the second place.
Well, Brian, as I explained to Mark, and I'm pretty sure I'm right on my statistics here and in my math, even though I don't math very good. I'm pretty sure I'm good on this one. Looks like you've been able to secure your shot at vying for the championship title next week when we head to ISM Raceway. Tell us how good it feels to, number one, not just make it to the Final Four, but doing it as a rookie, coming in your first season and doing it without a race win.
Had to bring that up, didn't you? That makes me happy. I mean, beginning of the season was a little rough for me, I think, learning the way these guys run and what you can and can't get away with them. And the longer you race with them, the better you feel around them and know who you can and can't race with real hard. I feel good about Phoenix. I don't know how well we're going to run there, but we'll just have to get there and see what happens.
All right, my man. Well, once again, congratulations on a great finish. Great way to finish out the season. Still got one more to go, though. But before I let you go tonight, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that car?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say happy birthday to you because I'm pretty sure it's your birthday today. We are going to thank my spotter, Roy, and my spotter from last week, who I forgot to mention, the other Brian in the group. Thanks to those guys for all the help they give me throughout the weeks. Thank the family for letting me do this, and you for doing what you're doing in the booth, and the admins and everything that they're doing with us, and everybody that comes out and races, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, well, there you have it. Some few final words from Brian Littleton, driver of the 80, walking away with the second spot here today in tonight's California 200. And, well, let's see if we can't get a few words in with your race winner, that 46 of David Bradford. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
Well, hey, my man, you're kind of making it a habit to come talk to me at the end of these things.
Man, I'm telling you, I've just been real lucky this season. I wish I had a little bit more luck so I could be a little bit closer in the points, but, you know, guess that's what you call a sophomore slump. You win a championship one season and you're just going to have a string of bad luck the next one, but definitely take this one as a maybe kick around to go into Phoenix.
All right. Well, you mentioned having a little bit of bad luck there for a while in the season. Coming into tonight's race, you were sitting second in the points. I may be a little off on some of my math, but if I am correct and looking at everything correct, it looks like you have secured your shot at a championship when we head to Phoenix next week. So how do you feel about that?
Well, our points aren't going to reset next weekend, so Brian's got a pretty comfortable lead still. I think it's, 17 points or something like that I'm going to guess at. And I'm just going to need him to have a really bad day and me go out and just try and dominate the race and, you know, keep the pressure on. Maybe he makes a mistake or two. Maybe we get a lot of cars to show up. Maybe we'll have a shot at it. Who knows?
Well, David, man, I first and foremost want to congratulate you on the race win. Want to congratulate you on yet another shot to walk away with another championship. If you could pull off the back-to-back, that would be historic and a great thing to be a part of. We'll tune in. Of course, I'm going to be there. I know you'll be there next week. But before we let you go and celebrate your race win here tonight, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, thank anybody on the side of that car?
Yeah, I mean, first I got to thank Bobby. You know, I went through some shit earlier in the week, and he pulled me right back into it, got me pointed in the right direction. Definitely got to thank everybody watching at home. Dad, George, April, Charlie, all you guys, whole family watching. Appreciate it.
All right, my man. Well, again, it's been a pleasure watching you, not just last season, but also this whole season. And look forward to you putting on quite a show next week at Phoenix.
I'm going to give it a good shot, man. Got some new pedals coming in. Maybe we'll make it happen. Thanks to Dr. Pepper and all them guys for helping make that happen. And I guess I'll see y'all next weekend.
All right, there you have it. Some few final words from your race winner, the 46 of David Bradford. And, man, the California 200, it did not disappoint. It was full of action, full of some great racing. And it looks like we may not have very much left to do here from Auto Club Speedway as the music producers reach over me and hit the button to roll the final credits. They're telling me to do my job, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Give you your race results here for tonight's race at Auto Club Speedway in the California 200. Walking away with the race win, the 46 of David Bradford. Brian Littleton came into tonight's race leading the point standings. He's going to finish the race in second and more than likely hold on to that points lead. Mark Truxell brings his number 5 home in the third spot. Will Jones gonna finish the race in fourth. Fifth place goes to Scott Warren. Sixth to Alan Dufries. Mike Yellow Jr. bringing his 74 home in the 7th spot. Justin Napier bringing his 54 home in 8th. Ninth place goes to Thomas McMullen, and Jason Baker gonna round out your top 10. Finishing tonight's race in the 11th position, the 86 of Colt Ansley. Jeff Napier will slot home in 12th, and 13th will go to Fred Strawwich III. Hayes Booth gonna come home in 14th. 15th will go to Kyle Green. 16th spot to the 7 of Will Hewitt. 17th will go to Chris Mathis. 18th place here tonight will go to the 33 of Brian Maskell Jr. Joshua Baker in the 77 gonna slot in 19th. Rounding out the field is the 51 and the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Both of those drivers unable to get the machines fired up for tonight's race, so tough break for both of those drivers out here tonight. With all that being said, man, oh man, we have set the stage for an amazing battle at Phoenix next week for your championship. So, ladies and gentlemen, join us next week here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for the Mug Root Beer Championship Night, live here on Turn 3 Racing Network. And for myself, Darkside Dave in the Cave, here at the Turn 3 Racing Network booth, and everybody else back at the headquarters, we do appreciate each and every time you join us here. Whether it's myself or anybody else, we certainly appreciate it. If you hadn't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell. And well, until then, race fans, stay safe, stay loved. We'll see you soon.